What's going on, guys? Joby here, bringing another Call of Duty Ghosts best class setup, and today we're going to be taking a look at the best class setup for the Chainsaw LMG. So to start with the gun, it's fully automatic, hip fire only, with increased accuracy from the attached laser sight, with recoil stabilized with sustained fire. And what that means is you can't aim down sights with this gun, so it's a bit like the Death Machine in Black Ops 2 as a score streak, in that you couldn't aim down sights with it, but you could increase the hip fire spread by pressing the ADS button. And as well though, it's got an integrated laser sight on it, which is the only LMG that's got an integrated laser sight on it, which also increases the hip fire accuracy as we can only hip fire. Now as for the attachments, for the first one we are going to be using the muzzle brake, which increases damage over a long range, and because we can only hip fire this weapon, we're not going to be getting that many bullets on target over a long distance, so we want to make sure our bullets are doing as much damage as possible over a long range to make sure that we can get the kill easier. Now for our second attachment, we are going to be using rapid fire, which increases the rate of fire of the weapon. And this is really good because we can only hip fire. We want to make sure that we're killing the enemy as quickly as possible, so a rapid fire will make sure we're getting as much ammunition as out onto the enemy as possible to get the kill. Now as for our secondary, we are going to be using the P226, which is a semi-automatic large ammo capacity with high rate of fire with increased recoil. Now we're only going to be putting one attachment on this pistol, and for that we are going to be using the muzzle brake once again, is because the LMGs take a long while to reload, especially the chainsaw, so we want to make sure that we've got a secondary to quickly switch to it just in case we need to reload and we get into a gunfight, and the muzzle brake attachment will make it so we can get those long range kills with the pistols easily and effectively. Now we're not going to be using a lethal, but we are going to be using a tactical grenade, and for that we are going to be using the motion sensor, which makes it so when we place it down and an enemy goes near it, it tags the target, allowing them to be tracked through objects for a short period of time. And this is a one-time use only, so as soon as it tracks the first person it will get destroyed, but is what it does. It's a bit like the Oracle system when it highlights them in orange, and this is really good because since we've got the chainsaw, which is an LMG, we're not going to be rushing so much, we're going to be holding down an area and protecting the objective, and the motion sensor will make sure that we can detect any enemies that are trying to flank us. Now as for our perks, for the first one we are going to be using Ready Up, which makes it so our weapon is ready up faster after sprinting, and this is because just in case we get into a gunfight when in mid sprint with the chainsaw, we want to make sure we can hit fire as fast as possible to get the kill. Now as for our second perk, we are going to be using Reflex, which makes it so we're able to swap weapons faster and use equipment faster. And this is really good because if we're mid-reloading with a chainsaw, we can quickly switch to our secondary faster to get the kill if we do come into a gunfight, but we'll also be able to throw our tactical grenades faster to make sure that we don't die while we're throwing them down. And as for our third perk, we're going to be using Steady Aim, which increases hip fire accuracy by 30%, and since with the chainsaw we can only hip fire and we can't aim down sights, Steady Aim will help us to reduce the hip fire accuracy to make sure we can get more bullets on target. Now as for our fourth perk, we're going to be using Amplifier, which makes it so we can hear the enemy's footsteps louder, but also we'll be able to hear players that have got Dead Silence perk. And this is really good because since we're going to be holding down an area, we want to be able to hear the enemies around us that are trying to flank us, so we can have the advantage in a gunfight up close. Now for our last perk, we're going to be using Focus, which makes it so the weapon sway while aiming down sights is reduced, but that's not the reason why we're going to be using it. Why we're using it is because if we get into a gunfight, the flinch is reduced tremendously so we can get more bullets on target to get the kill.